So, guys, here we are, MMA UK news. Obviously, myself, Stoomboy, as always, for the MMA UK BJJ show. So, talking as we've been talking about for the last few days, SGI8. SGI8 is going to be Maryhill Community Halls, Saturday the 9th of October. Doors open 5 p.m. First fight will be 5:45, which will be the open weight quarterfinals. So the 8-man open weight quarterfinals. So they'll be the first 4 fights off the bat as soon as 5:45 kicks in. Now, as I've been saying, tickets are only available directly from Scottish Grappling on the Eventbrite page. The reason for that, with it being a local council building, unfortunately, the council do have strict rules when it comes to track and trace. So make sure you do get your tickets beforehand. If you turn up at the venue on the day, unfortunately, like we usually normally have, tickets available at the door, that is not going to be available this time. So you will be turned away if you do turn up without a ticket. I mean, it's going to be a fantastic event. So if you don't get your tickets in early, it's going to sell out. The thing we're going to talk about today is the 8-man tournament. So we've got in it Mark McQueen, MNBJJ, Ed Ingemells, Institute of Grappling, Owen Livesey for Carlson Gracie Hull. We've got Chris Walsh, Sapphire MMA, Lawrence Fitzpatrick, and Nathaniel Montgomery of the Grip House. Jack Dolan, unfortunately, had to pull out due to a knee injury sustained at the ADCC trials last week. So Jack will be getting replaced. As of yet, we do not have a replacement for him at the moment. But yeah, somebody will step in. Somebody will step in. I'd say £500 up for grabs for the winner, which, yeah, decent amount of money for coming in and just having a few rolls. So 500 quid will be for the winner. So my next guest, Mark McQueen. Mark McQueen's been on an absolute tear since his first competition back 2019. Mark, when you look at Smooth Comp, 29 fights, 18 of which have been by submission. So an absolute submission machine. So he's the absolute phenom of Scottish Jiu-Jitsu at the moment. So Mark has been training pretty much his whole life, full-time athlete for his whole life. So we're going to hear obviously a bit about Mark's journey just now. So Mark, listen, absolute pleasure to have you on, buddy. How you doing?
Oh, brilliant, mate. No, thanks very much for the kind words. No, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'd say your rise through jiu-jitsu, it's not been, I mean, obviously we expected it. We did expect obviously you to come in and do big things, which you've not let us down, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It feels really, it's weird because like I've not even trained for 2.5 years in jiu-jitsu yet. I've been training for like 2 years, 4 months, like something like that. And obviously as well, like that, that's including COVID. So, a lot of that was just like me, I've been really, really lucky because like me and my brother moved back in, live with mum and dad, and they had a garage for COVID. So we just put like, some mats down, stuff like that. So we were able to, so we never stopped training. So it's still, COVID time still obviously counts, but I don't know. I just feel like I'm still a complete beginner. I mean, I've only been doing it for 2 years, 4 months. So it's just really, really weird when like I'm getting invited onto these shows and stuff like that. And I'm just like, what? Like, you know what I mean? It's definitely weird, but it's really good. It is really, really good.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely written in the stars for you. I mean, you were going to come in and do big things. I mean, I remember you coming in first day in the gym into MNBJJ. I know you'd been training, I think, only a few months before that. And I remember everybody saying, like, roll with Mark. And I remember looking over thinking, look at the size of him, man. Like, no chance. I'm like, Mark, it'll be a little bit of time before I roll with you.
Yeah, I mean, like, it is funny. Like, I'm not as big as people think I am, right? Because like I know, like whenever I hear people speak about it, they say like I'm 130 kilos. Like I'm actually not. I'm like 115. So I'm actually maybe not as like I used to be. Like when I did powerlifting, I weighed 150 kilos. So like I was, now I'm like a slender 115.
Nice.
So it's funny though, because like all of like my best pals are like, like powerlifters are strong men. Like one of my pals is like 6'6" and like 130 odd kilos. Like another one's like 155 kilos. So like everyone's massive, right? So I feel like I'm like the smaller one. So like I think to myself now, like, cause I've lost so much weight that I'm not that big. But it's funny, like at training and stuff like that, like you do see sometimes like I do kind of have to roll with like the same usual suspects every time because like people, maybe, and I totally get it. Like like I totally get like people maybe not wanting to roll with someone that's like 30 kilos more than them. Like I totally understand. Like I don't take it personally, but yeah, it is funny.
Yeah. But as I said, I mean, your rise has been absolutely brilliant. I mean, first comp 2019. I think it was back in September 2019. So we're coming up on 2 years this month that you only started competing. And as I said, what you've managed to do so far to where you are at the moment has been nothing short of phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's obviously very kind. Like obviously, I don't ever compete as a white belt up until COVID because I got my blue belt. Like I think I got my blue belt like 2 or 3 weeks before
It was, yeah.
the actual lockdown happened. So I remember it's really funny because my first match as a blue belt was against like 100-kilo black belt. And I remember, and then I also remember as well, I was like, if I make go the whole way through this tournament, I was like, I'm going to come up against Ross Nichols. And I remember just thinking, like, what the hell? Like, I'm like, this is literally my first competition as a blue belt, and I'm like, just being like completely thrown to the wolves. But then, like, that's good because like that's what I'm seeking out, like I definitely could be like just entering competitions as a blue belt, like but for that grappling industries, like I entered like the black belt division, for and whatnot, because like the reality is like I feel like I got a late start to this, which I did. Like I started when I was like 24, and that's because obviously I'd spent like my whole adult life, with Team GB and doing powerlifting and stuff like that. So I feel like if I'm going to actually like try and make a real go at this and see how good I can get, because that's the reality. Like that's all I want to do with powerlifting. All I want to do with powerlifting was I was like I want to see how good I can get. And obviously, like, yeah, I wanted to win the World Championships and I wanted to win the European Championships and I wanted to win the Commonwealth Championships. But they were like just byproducts of like, let's see how good I can actually get. And it's the same with jiu-jitsu. So yeah, that was like daunting, you know what I mean? And then obviously I got my purple belt, the same competition. And then I done the competitions a few weeks ago, the Scottish grappling one. And I was only able to do the absolute because well, people did enter my weight class, I think, but I think people kept dropping out my weight class and stuff. I don't know if it was injuries or COVID. I'm not sure, but yeah. So I was only able to do the absolute, and then obviously I got invited to this, and I was like, yeah, 100%. And then like you start seeing the lineup, and you're just like, oh, like I'm just like, I just feel like I'm like being completely thrown to the wolves. I'm like, I've only been training for 2 years, but that's good because like the reality is like, there's no pressure on me. Like I've literally been training like just over 2 years. So like there's it's like when I came up against Ross Nichols, it was actually really unfair on Ross Nichols, and I actually like have so much like respect for Ross Nichols because like it was a lose-lose for him. Because if he beat me, it's like I'm a blue belt, and if he lost, it's like I just beat Ross Nichols, and obviously he lost. So I feel like it was kind of like unfair, but I feel like this is the same situation for this because I have nothing to lose. Like if I go in, these guys are all like have been like training like what 5 times longer than me, more than that. They're like so there's nothing for me to lose, and there's literally just everything to win. And like I'm not going in with like a defeatist attitude. Like I genuinely think like 100%, like no two ways about it. Like I know what the outcome's going to be, but like I have nothing to lose, so I'm just going to go, and just give it all, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, and that's one thing. I mean, a lot of people will confuse arrogance for confidence. All right. Well, you'll see it in sport all the time. So when Mark's going into these competitions, he's not come across arrogant, saying, "Oh, well, listen, I'm going in and beating black belts." It's the confidence in your technical ability in regards to your jiu-jitsu. So I'd say a lot of people get that confused. So some people might think it's arrogance, but it's definitely for Mark, it's confidence. I mean, Mark puts in. I don't see anybody apart from like some of the guys in the Lycans like Davy Sharp, Shawnee Stewart, who are on the mats all the time. Mark, you're known to be on the mats every single day. I mean, I remember me and you've laughed at some point saying, "Well, look, how often are you training?" But I'm training 7 days a week, and I'm like, "You need a rest," and you're like, "No, I'm fine. I'm used to this."
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like again, it's like the with powerlifting. I was never like the most gifted powerlifter. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, you know, maybe compared to the average person, yeah, okay, maybe I wasn't very gifted, but when you actually look at the cream of the crop of powerlifting, I don't feel like I was really the most gifted at all. But like the thing is like I just, you know, worked so hard. Like I remember like the world championships that I won, right? I won by 2.5 kilos. Like literally, I went out and pulled my final deadlift, and then the guy that came second place from Canada went out to pull 2.5 kilos more than me, and he got it to like 3 inches from lockout, and then missed it. Like this isn't like me like talking shit or anything. Like such a nice guy, but like I remember like 6 months before the world championships, like at Christmas, he was out like partying at Christmas. He was out on New Year's Eve, and he was partying at New Year's Eve. I remember at the end of January, he was like went away for like a week's holiday. Like I wasn't doing that. New Year's Eve, I'm in the gym. Like I'm not partying. I don't drink. I don't do anything. Like all I was doing was training. Like all I did was train. And that guy was so much more gifted than me. But I beat him by 2.5 kilos. And the reason I beat him by 2.5 kilos was because I worked so much harder every single day. And like what powerlifting showed me was literally that was like if I actually genuinely put in the effort, and I don't just pretend to put in effort, I actually put in the effort, I'm going to reap the results. And it's like the same with jiu-jitsu. Like again, like I said, I've only been doing this 2 years, like, and I know what my level is in jiu-jitsu, right? Like I know I have my purple belt from Marcos, but like I'm not a purple belt. Like I've been doing jiu-jitsu like 2 years, right? Like I'm just a beginner, and like I'm just trying to get better every single day. But I know like if I'm on the mat and I'm putting in as much effort as I can, and I'm doing everything that I can, and that's ultimately all I can do. And like again, so far I feel like I've reaped the rewards. You know, if the average person goes and trains, let's say the average person goes and trains 4 hours a day, right? Sorry, 4 hours a week, 4 classes a week, right? Well, by Tuesday morning, I've done more than that.
Yeah.
So like what they're doing 1 week, I'm doing by Tuesday morning. You know, like realistically speaking, on a Monday, I'm probably on the mat for like two to 3 hours, and I'm lifting weights for probably 2 hours. So straight away there you go. I'm already, you know, that's Monday morning. Then Tuesday, you know, you've got jiu-jitsu, I've got wrestling, I've got lifting weights. On a Wednesday, I've got jiu-jitsu for like a couple of hours. Then Thursday, you know, so that's the thing. Like end of the day, like I'm just on the mats and I'm just working really hard. And I'm not saying I'm working harder than anybody else because I don't know what anybody else is doing. I'm just trying my best, and that's ultimately all I'm doing.
Yeah, definitely. And then I'd say the lineup as well. I mean, it's a fantastic 7 people so far. Obviously, Ed Ingemel's, Ed, older guy, but Ed's a quick finisher. Whenever you watch any of his kind of competitions, you see some of his competition experience. Always looking for submissions, always looking for the win. So submission only tournament style of format does suit him. Obviously, he can do competitions as well. So I know I spoke to him yesterday, and he was 10 minutes after winning a gold medal at a competition, and then he was talking to me, and I never even knew.
What competition was it?
I think it was Dorset and Hants. So they had a big competition down there yesterday. So Dorset and Hants Open.
That's just casual, like, isn't it? Like, go win a gold medal, and then like, yeah, let's just like jump on a. I watched his I watched the interview you did with him, but I didn't realize he just won a gold medal. I just thought he was training or something. So yeah,
no.
That's awesome. I love that.
See, when I booked the interview with him, I booked it on, I think it was on a Thursday or a Friday, and then I said to him, when do you want to do it? And he's like, yeah, I'm available Saturday, probably about 4 o'clock. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. So, and then when I was obviously Googling him and stuff like that beforehand, I looked at Smooth Comp and I was like, 25th of September, that's today. And I looked and seen he'd won a gold medal, and it was literally 5-10 minutes before I'd started doing the call with him, and he came on and he's like, yeah. He said the competition was running late. He said I got my gold medal and I ran outside, and
that's amazing. I love
that was you.
So
yeah. So Ed, definitely one of the well-known guys in the UK. As I said, he's going to bring it. Nathaniel Montgomery, as I say, you've been on competitions where Nathaniel's been there, so you know exactly what Nathaniel's going to bring. Again, submission only environment for Nathaniel is a better situation than your local comps and stuff like that. Nathaniel's not a points player, so Lawrence Fitzpatrick, MMA fighter, 7-2, submission specialist in MMA, so absolutely fantastic grappling skills. Chris Walsh again, submission only tournaments thrives in them situations. Chris trains with some absolute monsters as well, similar to yourself. And then Owen Livesey. I don't know if you ever came across Owen when you were obviously with the Team GB stuff, because obviously Owen, again, being Team GB, winning a Commonwealth gold medalist in judo. Probably, I think, maybe before your time, 2014. So, yeah, again, Owen, judo takedowns are going to be unbelievable. I believe he's a second Dan in judo. And I said, same as yourself. I mean, he's been training since he was a kid, non-stop, every day since he was a kid. So probably similar mentality to yourself.
Yeah, I mean, awesome, what a lineup. I mean, I've trained with Nathaniel quite a few times. He's a really nice guy, really great guy. Yeah, I mean, it's like you look down that list and everyone's amazing. You know what I mean? So it's a case of like, literally, like all the reality is all I can do is all I can do. You know, and it's simple as that. And I think it's going to be enough. But let's see what happens. At the end of the day, I've, like I said, I have nothing to lose and everything to gain. You know, and like the thing is as well is like I've been putting in the work, and the thing is as well is like training is like literally like my number one priority. Like literally is like I've like just started uni, right? So I've like just started uni, and it's in a different city, so it's in Aberdeen. So I had to like move Aberdeen, and I've bought a flat in Aberdeen, and all this stuff, and I've like got so much to do, and all I've been worried about is training. Like literally, like everyone's like stressed about uni, and they're like, oh my god, like how do we do X, Y, and Z? And literally, all I'm stressed about is right, how do I train? How do I do X, Y, Z?
Yeah.
So like, and again, maybe it's a bit immature. Maybe I need to like grow up a little bit and like, or I should actually be like trying to sort my flat out and get it plastered and do all of this stuff. No. I'm just gonna go train. It's like last week, right? Last Wednesday, so the flat that I moved into has like these like stupid pay-as-you-go electricity and gas meters, right? And basically I was going to get a new one fitted so that I could get like a direct debit one, okay, last Wednesday. And then the guy was coming the same time that I was meant to be training, so I just like cancelled that appointment as well. And again, it's just like, Mark, you need to grow up. Like, what are you doing? But it is what it is. I love doing what I love doing.
Yeah, listen, we love watching you as well. As we all love watching it. As I say, there's always a big buzz when you're out competing wherever you go. People come to see you. People always come to see you whenever you. I remember the first comp, as I say, just was absolutely phenomenal watching you. I remember the feeling you had after that comp, and then it just went on and on from there. As I said, I never got to see the Ross Knuckles one, but obviously we seen the videos and stuff for that, and just seen how happy you were after that specific comp. So
yeah, I mean, again, like he is like a billion times better jiu-jitsu than me, and probably a billion times better jiu-jitsu than I'm ever going to be. Like, there's no twist about like I just was able to just use like my advantages, my obvious advantages, and like so like, and again, like I said, like I just like want to say like obviously like I have so much respect for him, because like I just feel like it was a lose for him, and like for him to actually turn up, and it's like what Ed was saying in his interview about how like all these like really big black belts, he'd like to see them entering like more shows. Like, so much respect for him, because like I said, like he really had nothing to gain for competing against me, and me beating him, really kind of skyrocketed things a little bit. So like I said, like, I'm under no illusions of like how amazing he is at jiu-jitsu and like how much better he is at jiu-jitsu than me. But yeah, what an honor, and like what an incredible like experience to be able to like go and compete against him. Because like, not like how many sports do you get to go and have a chance to compete against somebody of that caliber? Do you know what I mean? Like, not very many. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then got a question from MMA UK's Katie Hunter. Cool sleeves. What is the meaning of the tattoo on the hand on your wrist?
What one?
So what one? So I think she's.
So this one is doesn't mean anything. This was done by Stephen Wrigley. It's just a Japanese, traditional Japanese sleeve. And again, this arm doesn't mean anything. There is Roman numerals here. That's basically the 20th of June 2017, and that's the day that I won the World Championship. So that's the only and then I've got like on my leg, I've got like some traditional tattoos, and one of them's like a the lion rampant holding like a Scottish flag. So obviously that means something, but no, none of them mean anything. They're just, I don't know. I like tattoos, and like I thought they were cool designs, and yeah, I've got like the date of when I won the world championship, but other than that, nah, I don't really mean anything.
Listen, I hope you've got some more space, mate, for some of the other comps that you're about to win in the future, Mark. So, so you'll be walking around here with all these dates all over your body, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, oh well. I mean, you never know. You never know.
And then what's next for you then? So obviously we get this out the way. What's your plans? What's your visions?
Mate, I just want to I want to, like, where can I go? What can I do? You know, it's just, again, it's like, I don't know. I just want to get as good at jiu-jitsu or grappling, as good as grappling as I can. Like I'm actually like genuinely really invested in trying to actually like be really good at this sport. Like I actually am. Like and it's like we were, you know, you were saying like just before we kind of went live about like I'm actually like although I'm like 115 kilos stuff, I'm actually trying to do jiu-jitsu. Like I'm actually like trying to do jiu-jitsu. I'm like when I wrestle, I like actually try and wrestle. Like I'm actually like 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 if you watch like from grappling industries, like my stand-up, like my first match, like I literally like shot a double straight away. Then I'm right on a single straight away. And then the next 3 matches, the people pull guard, and then the 2 matches in my weight class, like I think if you work out, I think I shot about 9 doubles in total or something like that. Like I'm actually like trying to grapple. And like I feel like that's really important, because like I'm not trying to just be good now. I'm trying to be good in like 3 years. So like I need to actually do it. So I just want to keep going and getting coached by, you know, Sharpie, by Shawnee, by Jack, by Marcos, by people up in SBG Aberdeen, by Ross up in SBG Aberdeen, by my Trice Lions coaches, by Nico up in Aberdeen. I just want to, you know, I'm a beginner. Like I said, I just want to learn jiu-jitsu. I want to just get as good as I can. So just keep showing up, keep improving my strength and athleticism in the gym. And mate, I'm just going to keep entering the biggest competitions that I can. Like I said, like literally, like at white belt, I entered every comp I could. I entered the Euros, you know, I did that. My first comp was a blue belt. I'm entering black belt divisions with Ross Nichols in it. I've entered this. And then I think towards what's next, probably I think there's ADCC qualifiers next year. Is that right?
I believe it's in March, I believe.
Yeah, in Moldova or something. So I'm definitely going to be going to that, and then let's see if I can try and get to ADCC. Yeah, mate, I want to see how good I can get. And obviously, competitions are a massive part of that. So I want to see how good I can get. I want to keep learning, and I want to just take this as far as I can. And like it's as simple as that. I just want to take it as far as I can.
Well, listen, there's definitely a lot of buzz behind you, a lot of hype behind you. So, and the hype is real. As I say, sometimes we see guys coming out there with a little bit of hype, a little bit of buzz, but then it kind of fades away very quickly. But as I say, for Mark McQueen, guys, the hype is real. I mean, as I said, I've been fortunate to see him from day one, and seen him grow to where he is at the moment. And I mean, it's a big struggle as well. I mean, I remember when you were a blue belt, or just before you got your purple belt, and they were trying to match you up on like SGI for a singles match, couldn't get anybody, nobody wanted to fight you. As soon as they mentioned your name, they were like, no, no, no. And then so you've got that thing where you couldn't get blue belts to fight you, and then some black belts won't fight a blue belt because, as you said, it's a lose-lose for them. So
I I completely understand why. It is literally a lose-lose. I completely understand why. And I just think like, I'm not saying nobody will fight me, but I just think like there's not very many heavyweights, and there's, you know, and I feel like the heavyweights that maybe are about are kind of MMA fighters and stuff. So it has just been a wee bit difficult. And then again, like there's no real benefit to like a black belt trying to do that. So yeah, I just need to keep kind of showing up to competitions and doing my best. And like I said, I'm just keen to learn and get better. And I just can't, you know, I can't thank all my coaches and training partners enough, because like, yeah, I feel like I've been showing up like a lot of, you know, I feel like with powerlifting, I felt like a lot of time, like before, until I moved down to Leeds, to train with like my best mates for like a year, I feel like a lot of powerlifting it was just like me, you know, it was like me training my guys, or like, you know, like I didn't really have a, you know, like the person that did my programming lived in America, so I just kind of felt like it was me. But like now, like it's like, you know, I feel like I have a lot of support, so I just you can't thank them enough. Everyone's helped me so much. And yeah, and also, yeah, you know, it's been awesome so far.
Definitely. And then takes us on to the last thing then. So obviously, so you probably touched on a lot of them there, but yeah, anybody you want to shout out to, friends, family members, teammates, any sponsors, even if you've got sponsors.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I've already, you know, everyone knows who they are. And just like thanks to everyone for training with me, and like especially, you know, thanks like, you know, like, you know, like the coaches that I mentioned, like, you know, like just like, you know, really helping me, and, you know, actually like, you know, being invested in me getting better, and it doesn't go unnoticed. And like I hope that like I also am like able to, you know, help them in training and stuff like that. And it's been really awesome. And also I like to say that Sharpie, you're a dead man, and mate, anywhere, any place, anytime, open weight. I actually think, right, and he deliberately cut his finger so that he didn't have to get into this SGI8 man tournament. What do you think, Stu? What do you think? Agree?
Well, listen, I think it was a bit of a coincidence. Obviously, it was.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it's like I've been at training down at Kelly. He's got this wee stupid plaster around his finger, right? It's a wee plaster. I asked him to take it off and show me. He wouldn't take it off and show me. So I didn't even know there's anything underneath it. Might just be a plaster with healthy skin.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, he can't run forever. He
No.
cannot run forever. I actually woke up to a message this morning from Sharpie. Sharpie messaged me like 2 a.m. Just all he said was just, "You're dead."
Well, it's like a bit of a coincidence because one, he tried to miss his flight, right? So he
Yeah.
tried to miss the flight, and then because that didn't work, then suddenly he cut his finger. So
exactly. That's all I'm saying. So I just there's a lot of coincidences happening that is preventing Sharpie from showing up. That's all I'm saying.
well, listen, Sharpie, it seems to have it in for not just you, but obviously Gavin as well. So
no one likes Gavin though, so that's understandable. Everyone has it in for Gavin, but like,
yes,
he's a nice guy. Like, I'm actually, I have no beef with nobody, but Sharpie, yeah, I mean, he is a dead man.
So Sharpie, I know you're watching. Matt's coming to get you, mate. He's coming to get you. So
Monday morning, Sharpie, take that wee plaster off that finger and let's go.
Nice. Well, listen, Mark, absolute pleasure as always. I'd say I love spending time with you. Obviously, getting to chat with you. Obviously, messing about on the mats and stuff like that. I always love it. Love being in your company. So I enjoy watching anytime you go out and compete. Always love it. I'm usually refereeing, but I usually try and stop refereeing just to come and watch your matches. Do you know what I mean? So, and as the SGI tournament, I mean, I've picked. I don't normally pick winners, but I did get asked, and I said I thought it was between. I mean, it's a fantastic lineup from start to finish, but yeah, you or Owen Livesey for me are the two guys. So hopefully that could be a great final.
Yes, thanks for the faith. And like I said, like I don't want people to like confuse what I'm saying. Like, I got nothing to lose. Like I'm like, you know, like, how did I say this? I know what I'm going to try and do, and I'm going to give my absolute everything. And you know what's going to happen will happen. But I'm very confident. And again, like, you know, just, you know, also a huge thanks to you for having me on, and also, you know, a huge thanks as well to James for inviting me. You know, like I said, like, I've not been doing this very long. Like, you know, and like, just for the opportunity, it's such a huge opportunity for me. And you know, just thanks for the opportunity, and also as well to everyone that's going to be like competing. You know, like, again, like, thanks for the opportunity. Like, these guys are all much bigger names than me. Like, again, these guys are like, you know, like Ed Ingemels and like Owen and all these people. Like, you know, these are much bigger names than me. Like you know, like I said, like, I've not got like much of a right to be like, well, I don't feel like anyway, right? But thanks for the opportunity to compete against you, and like, I'm really looking forward to like putting on some really good matches, and yeah, like, couple of weeks, I'll be ready.
Definitely. So, guys, SGI8 eight-man tournament. Mark McQueen, Nathaniel Montgomery, Lawrence Fitzpatrick, Chris Walsh, Owen Livesey, Ed Ingemels. Eighth man should be announced this week at some point. So they're going to be added to an already fantastic lineup. So Mark McQueen, MNBJJ, and SPG Aberdeen at the moment.
Yep.
So I believe
And
for
also,
the next 4 years.
And Trice Lines as well. Trice Lines as well.
Trice Lions out in Cumbernauld as well. So absolute honour to have you on, Matt. Thank you again, buddy.
No, thanks for having me, mate. Thanks very much.
All right, and you enjoy the rest of your day, buddy. All right.
Thank you. See you, mate.
Thank you.